Hi there, welcome to Community Coffee with Deirdre. Today we're going to talk about District 183, we're going to talk about Pennsylvania, and we're going to talk about the cool, quirky, and interesting facts that make our area such an amazing place to be. I am your host, Deirdre Kamber Todd. I am candidate for the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, District 183. Thank you for being with us today. Okay, so basic question. What makes our area so special and interesting? Today, we're going to talk about just that. Now, in December 1787, Pennsylvania was the second state to join the original 13 by signing the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution. And it is the only state, interestingly, that does not abut the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. But what's interesting about this is we almost didn't really have the opportunity to do that because in the 1600s, not too far before we signed the Constitution, we almost ended up as living in Wyoming. Yeah, strange, huh? In the 1600s, Connecticut claimed the top piece of Pennsylvania and named it Wyoming. And you can actually see here the little dots connecting Connecticut to the land that it claimed in Pennsylvania. And it wanted to name it Wyoming. So whether that would be, well, we didn't have another Wyoming. So at the time, so we would have been Wyoming Senior, Eastern Wyoming, just Wyoming, and then Wyoming would have to be something else. I have no idea. But regardless, who knows? Luckily, it never came to pass. Now, depending on the map maker, on their cartographer, different maps reflected different interests and different creative license as well. And I do want to give a massive shout out to Michael Trinkline, the author of Atlas of Altered States, which is an entire book dedicated to all the states that never made it. Fascinating, funny, great book. ISBN numbers are there. I would strongly recommend that you look it up because it's just a great, entertaining book if you like political geography. And this information came from his book. Okay, so I always love the funky facts. This one cracks me up. 1873. Thank you, Jim Thorpe, for providing us with the first roller coaster in the United States. 1903. First World Series held in Pittsburgh between the Pirates and the Red Sox. 1933. The first significant rivalry between two sports teams, specifically the Eagles and the Steelers. Okay, that makes sense. But in 1939, the owners of the Steelers and the owners of the Eagles tried to create a joint football team called the Keystoners. It's not a good name. We know that. Yeah, and unsurprisingly, it was unsuccessful. 4 years later, however, now we are in the midst of World War II, and more than 600 professional football players are fighting overseas to defend us in World War II. So Philadelphia and Pittsburgh decided to revisit the issue of combining the football teams because, of course, both sides had some missing players, finish the previous merge, but instead of calling them the Keystoners, the Steagles were born. They played for one season. They were immediately disbanded. They did not last as long as the war did at that point. Okay, so one thing I get is people hear I'm running and they say, wow, good luck. Well, there are ways to help. I can't do this alone. I need you to help me with my election. And I'm going to briefly go through some ways that you can do that. I am going to include this in part 2 as well. So I'm going to keep this as brief as possible, but there are a bunch of different ways that you can help get me elected in District 183. Number 1, spread the word. Spreading the word is the best way to get the options out there so that people know what I stand for as a fiscal moderate, liberal on the social issues. Get it, share it, tell your friends about it, let it be known. Don't assume people are registered to vote. They may not be. Don't assume that somebody is a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. You don't know. Please put up signs, come to events. I post everything. So all you have to do really is show up, be there, be present, be involved. Campaign contributions, I hate to ask anybody for money, but the reality is that this is expensive, it's hard, and for us regular people, I'm not a polished politician. I am a small business owner. I've been working my whole life since I was 12 years old. I need your help. So I provided information at the bottom that I can get to you so that you can help get the word out and find out more information about me. Want me to come to you? I'm down. Reach out to Naomi Schachter here's her email, and she'll be able to set something up. If there's any way for me to be present to you or a group of people or anything you want to know, you can question me. You can question me soft. You can question me hard. I'm good for it. As a lawyer with 23 years, I don't back down, but I do listen, I do think, and I do act responsibly. And I'm a go-getter. So here's my information. I appreciate it. This is part 1 of a part 2 series on what makes District 183 so awesome.